right, shall we get the show on the road for our meeting?
I
Is
think
everybody
so.
present that we need? Roger, are we good to start?
Yes.
Right, so I guess I can open this up. It is 2:45. Let me rephrase that. It is 2:16 p.m. on March 18th, 2021. And I am Roger Pelham with Washoe County Planning. Typically, I would be chairing this meeting, but as I will be presenting one of the items, the duties of the chair will be taken over by Wes Rubio of the Health Department. So I will go ahead and hand over the metaphorical gavel to him. Wes.
Thank you, Roger. We'll go ahead and we'll call to order. Donna, can you do a roll call, please, or a quorum?
Sure. Larry Chesney is absent. James English.
Wes Rubio for James
We have
English.
Wes. Thank you. Tim Simpson.
Here.
Wayne Handrock.
Present.
Okay, Dale Way is absent. Roger Pelham.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to the ethics law announcement from Mr. Lehman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not exactly sure what Jen does. I'm just gonna do like a quick reminder on the ethics laws under Nevada is that, as a public office, this is a public trust and should be held for the sole benefit of the people. And public officers or employees must commit himself or herself to avoid conflicts between private interests of the public officer or employee and those of the general public whom the public officer or employee serves. Other than that, nothing further to add.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read the appeal procedure. The Parcel Map Review Committee appeal procedure. Most decisions rendered by the Parcel Map Review Committee are appealable to the Board of County Commissioners. If you disagree with the decision of the Parcel Map Review Committee and you want to appeal its action, you may do so in writing within 10 calendar days from the date that decision being appealed is reduced to writing, filed with the Secretary of the Parcel Map Review Committee, and mailed to the original applicant in the proceeding being appealed in accordance with the Washoe County Code. Please call the planning staff immediately at 328-3600 for information on the appeal process or procedure and the application fee. With that, we'll move on to item number 4, public comment. Donna, do we have anybody for public comment at this time?
And we have a few people in attendance. If any of you would like to speak at this time, please raise your hand and you'll have 3 minutes to speak, or you can speak on an item that will be upcoming. I see no hands raised, so no, we have no public comment at this time.
All right, we will move on to agenda number 5, approval of the agenda. Everybody's had opportunity to review the current agenda. Can I get do we have any questions or comments regarding the agenda? Hearing none, if we have a motion for the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Wayne Handrock, second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All in opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, motion is approved and the agenda is approved. Moving forward to item number 6, approval of the February 11th, 2021 draft minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review those meeting minutes from February 11th? And are there any questions or comments?
I move to approve the minutes.
Tim Simpson moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Wayne Handrock, second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, the motion has passed and the minutes are approved. Move on to item number 7. The first item up is number A, or letter A. Tentative parcel map review case WTPM 20-0013. I believe this is with Mr. Pelham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, again, Roger Pelham with Washoe County Planning. Tentative parcel map case number WTPM 20-0013. The applicant is RT Merchant, and this is a request to divide an existing parcel of land, two actually, one of 10.16 acres, the other of 34.8 acres, into 4 parcels of 7.38, 5.14, 5.09, and a remainder of 27.36 acres. This is a second or subsequent parcel map, so it is subject to basically a higher level of review than would be a first parcel map. Perhaps the most important of those is the Hillside Development Ordinance, and this is applicable when a certain amount of the parcel of land has slopes that are steeper than a certain grade. This one does qualify for that. There has been substantial public interest in this. There have been any number of comments received that perhaps the people in that area don't believe that this meets the intent or the letter of the South Valley Area Plan and the Hillside Ordinance. It is my evaluation that it does. Many of the policies, and just sort of in a very general term, many of the policies in the South Valley Area Plan that deal with hillside development use words like should or encourage rather than shall or must. And in those cases, it is essentially it's up to the developer of whether some of those are complied with. They are not hard and fast rules. When it gets to the hard and fast rules, staff is of the opinion that this meets all of the relevant criteria. Those relevant criteria are included in my staff report. The minimum lot sizes are correct, or are certainly in conformance with the requirements. The minimum lot areas are in conformance. Access is in conformance. Proposed building sites are located on the flatter rather than the steeper areas, although, again, this is essentially a hillside. With that, I am available for any specific questions that the members of the committee may have.
Hearing no questions from the committee. Roger, do you have anybody that wanted to speak on this at this time?
No, I would defer to the recording secretary. I believe we have several that would care to speak electronically.
Recording secretary, can you?
Roger, do you
Is there
have
anybody
any?
who would like to speak?
Do you know? Is there an applicant here that would like to speak? Please raise their hand. Gabe,
Yeah, Gabe from Odyssey.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and promote him and let him speak for a moment, and then we'll do public comment. Does that work?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I skipped right over the applicant. Sorry.
That's right.
My mind.
Okay. Hey, Gabe, if you'd like to speak, go ahead and unmute.
Good afternoon. I'm Gabe with Odyssey Engineering, representing RT Merchant LLC. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for scheduling.
Pardon me, Gabe. What is your last name, please, for the record?
Gabe Whitler, Odyssey Engineering.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for scheduling this extra meeting for us. I appreciate that. Basically, I just wanted to mention that we reviewed the conditions as proposed, and I think we agree with staff's comments and summary. I didn't hear if any member from fire department, staff member from fire was present. Their condition was, pretty generic to, essentially meet code, but their summary letter that they gave was maybe a little more in depth. I just wanted to chat if someone was available. No.
I don't think we have a member from Truckee Meadows Fire on the call or on the.
Okay, I'll continue to try and reach out to them. I just thought if they were available, now would be a good time to discuss it. But I'm certainly open for any questions you may have for us.
Doesn't look like the board has any questions or the committee has any questions. If you don't have anything else to add, we can go ahead and move on with public comment. Donna, if we have any from the other attendees.
Yes, I have one from Washoe Valley Alliance with their hand raised. Washoe Valley Alliance, you may unmute, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Can you, if we hold up any diagrams or anything, can you see them or not?
No.
Okay, so we can't give you any kind of presentation. Okay,
No. We don't have screen sharing for the attendees.
that kind of limits us.
You better go.
Okay, for the record, my name is Bill Naylor. I'm a member of the Washoe Valley Alliance. I sent in about a 3-page email. I hope everyone got it and had a chance to review it. Question, Roger, did the developer submit the necessary materials for the Hillside development?
This is a public comment. It's not a question and answer period.
I don't know. When I went over the materials that were available, posted for the open meeting, I saw nothing at all submitted by the developer for Hillside development. There was no site analysis. There was no developable area map. There was nothing about protected open spaces. Therefore, the application is totally incomplete, and I don't know how you can act on it at all. Secondly, South Valley's area plan, some of the things were included, but not all. And when you talk about shall or should, policy 12.5 says reads as follows: view sheds and ridge lines shall be protected from significant degradation. And I want to comment on should. The definition of should means you have an obligation or duty to uphold that particular item. You have some discretion to staff, but you don't have a lot of discretion to staff. You seem to think you do, but you really don't. Okay. There's other goals in there about a development area analysis, which is required. There's a goal in there, policy 20.2, about a wildlife migration route and critical habitat, which has to be addressed, which have not been addressed by the developer. Those items were not in the staff report, so that no one could see them, except from my input. So we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items that were not included in the staff report. This is in there about 5, 6 times. It's critically important that the ridge lines and view sheds be protected. It was in there 6 times because the planning department put it in there, because the Board of County Commissioners put it in there, and we're choosing to ignore that. The key thing here is if you look at the parcel map, the utility corridor that goes right through the middle of that causes major problems. And if you look at the developable areas on the parcel 3B that they want to create, the only developable area is up on the hillside. It's a small triangle up on the hillside. For 3A, there's a triangle down on the flat area down at the bottom. The point being that the way these parcels are drawn, this developer has no choice but to put a residence up on the hillside where it creates significant problems with the view shed. Okay. My wife wants to speak also, so there's 2 of us here, so we'd like 2 opportunities. Thank you. Okay, Marilyn, you want to start?
This is a 1-minute reminder of why there was so much citizen input on this issue. In 2010, Governor Jim Gibbons officially designated the Washoe Valley State Scenic Byway. There's a list of federal, state, and local government agencies who have spent millions of dollars and thousands of hours investing in the preservation of the scenic, cultural, and natural resources of Washoe Valley. These managing partners also worked in collaboration with citizens in the development of the Byway Corridor Management Plan. The plan outlines best actions to enhance the byway for visiting, living, and driving. Among the goals in the plan are preservation of open space, scenic vistas, view sheds, as well as protecting our parks and our wildlife habitat. Since 2014, Washoe Valley Alliance and Washoe Lake State Park have hosted an annual Celebrate Washoe Valley, where all the representatives from all the managing partners and community service organizations interface with the public in the mission of education and stewardship of Washoe Valley. Our hope is that any decision that's made about Washoe Valley reflects with respect all of the collaboration and commitment that has gone on for years between the government and the citizens. And I really do appreciate, I'm looking forward to all working together in the future, getting all managing partners together to make really good decisions to preserve a really super valuable resource for Nevada. Thank you.
Would you please still state your names so that I have them for the record, please?
My name is William Naylor, Washoe
Okay.
Valley Alliance, 42-year resident of Washoe Valley.
And my name is Marilyn Naylor, and I'm a resident of Washoe Valley. And I do want to say that in 2011, we received an award.
That all I needed was your name. Thank you.
Donna, do we have any other attendees? I see a hand up. I don't know if that's still just one.
It's the same one, yeah.
Okay.
No, we have no further public comment.
Member of the committee, any further comments or questions? If there are no further comments or questions, go ahead, Mr. Bellum.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I can address the Hillside, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to share my screen.
By all means, sir.
And I think this was attached to my staff report. If it was not, then that is I will take, complete blame for that, and I will apologize, but let me, the Hillside analysis was included, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to share that. So here we go. Okay, are you all seeing a slope analysis map?
Yes.
There's several colors. Okay. This is the parcel of land. I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in here a bit. And I will say this was not included with the initial application. Once it was identified that yes, in fact, the Hillside ordinance does apply in this case, this was provided. This shows, well, I'm afraid I may have zoomed past it. There we go. Okay, are you seeing this, the kind of zoomed in on the slope analysis map?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. Sorry, I'm never quite sure with this electronic meeting type stuff. As you can see, the slope analysis is broken into increments of 5% as required by code. The 0 to 15, or the red area, is the most developable area. That's where we want to encourage development to take place, rather than perhaps these darker colors where there are steeper slopes. So potential home site, both of which again are on the lesser slopes. And likewise here, here, and here. Grading is absolutely necessary to get up to that. 15% is still a hillside, but this home is actually under construction right now. That was approved by right for one single family dwelling on the parcel of land. And then we have two more potential home sites here that are, again, on the flat, the more flat, it's not flat, but the more flat area. And these are obviously downhill. You can see from the contours that we have a lower elevation here, a higher elevation here, and this is not a ridge line. Okay, this is a slope, and these are all proposed. The dwellings are proposed to be located below the ridge line on the slope. I would also like to comment, editorialize for just a moment, if I may, that I am just very, very happy that the folks in that area take the time to be involved and show such concern for their area. I applaud that in every way. But with that, I believe that this meets both the letter and the intent of the relevant codes and policies.
Roger, are you saying that there is an approved building permit for parcel 3C?
I'm sorry, Tim, can you say that again? I barely heard you.
Sorry. Were you saying that there's an approved building permit for parcel 3C?
Yes, here on the edge where it's closest to 395 South, yes, there is an approved building permit now. That was approved by right for one single family dwelling on the existing parcel of land as it exists today. Now it'll be split, and once it's split, that dwelling is still perfectly legal, allowed by right. And I'm going to attempt to stop sharing now. Are
You're
we
good.
back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I apologize. I'm not that great at these things, these Zoom meetings.
Better than I would have done.
With that, I believe, Mr. Chairman, that's the extent of my response.
Do we have any questions from the committee for Roger regarding the additional information that he just presented? Or any other questions regarding the map in full? Okay, seeing no questions, we can go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting, that the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee approve parcel map case number WTPM 20-0013 for RT Merchant LLC, subject to the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be adequately provided for pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110.606.301A through L.
We have a motion from Mr. Simpson. Do we have a second?
Wayne Handrock, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, the motion is passed. We can go ahead and move on to letter B, which will be an amendment of conditions for case number WAC 21-001.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks.
Yes, I don't see Dan, and
Thought it was Dan. I just didn't get to the second page. Roger, did you know if you were doing both?
Not to the best of my knowledge. Give me a moment, please. I'm attempting to call Dan right now. Dan will be logging on momentarily. And thank you for muting me, Donna. I probably want to do it more often.
It appears Larry's joined.
Donna, we can always add that additional muting of Roger to the future agenda items if you'd like.
Sorry, fellas, I'm checking in late. I had a doctor's appointment.
Welcome.
Welcome, no worries.
Are we,
I assume that's okay, Roger. I would turn to you to make sure that that's totally fine if we have late members joining.
Yeah, we certainly have in the past. I would simply make a notation for the record that Larry Chesney has joined the meeting at what I show to be 2:42 p.m. after item 7A, prior to item 7B.
Yes, that has been made. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roger.
All
Hi,
right.
Dan.
Hi,
Welcome.
I'm sorry. I completely forgot today was Parcel Map Review Committee. So I apologize for being late.
That's okay. We all voted and we decided that you were bringing coffee and donuts to the next Parcel Map Review Committee meeting held in person.
Deal. Okay. So,
He'll eat them and have them drink right there while we're
all right.
watching.
So I take it that it's time for me to present WAC 21-0001, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. The floor is yours.
All right, so this is a request to amend the conditions of approval for tenant parcel map case number WTPM 20-0009 to remove engineering, to amend engineering condition 2D and parks program condition 5A. Effectively, in the course of reviewing for the final map, it was determined that there were some issues in legal issues in compliance of requiring a 36-foot access easement across parcels outside of the scope of the parcel map, as well as a request to remove the required parks regulatory easements. Therefore, the applicant requested to modify those conditions with the amendment of conditions, and what we have before you is effectively amendment of engineering conditions to require a 20-foot easement and the removal of the Parks Department 30-foot wide relocatable public trail easement. With that, I'm available for any questions.
Any questions from the committee for Mr. Calhoun?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So with this case, are we only considering these two, the removal of these two conditions? Is that?
So from what the conditions of approval are effectively, we have added we have all of the requirements, which is all the conditions, as well as all the conditions of approval that were effective for WTPM 20-009, as well as the amended conditions that were provided by Washoe County Engineering and Capital Projects, as well as a removal of the requirement to meet condition 5A of Exhibit A of WTPM 20-0009. So the only things that are changing are the engineering conditions and the parks program conditions.
Well, I just, I take issue with removing the engineering condition 2D. Reviewing this today, looking at the county code, it does allow us to review, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it here. The effect of the proposed subdivision on existing public streets and the need
Yes.
for new streets or highways to serve the subdivision. And I believe the code does require a 36-foot access or road to serve more than 4 parcels. So
We have council here. Sorry, I'm coming in late. No, we don't have Jen here. So upon a meeting prior to submitting this application,
We do have counsel.
oh, we do
I'm
have
here,
council.
sorry.
Yes.
Who's here?
I'm filling in for Jen.
Oh, perfect. So my understanding was that the 36-foot required easement on parcels that were not included in the parcel map originally was considered to be, and correct me if I am stating this wrong, a inverse condemnation potential.
Possibly, yes.
Wherein we would be, yes, it would potentially be an inverse condemnation and potentially a takings. So the idea with this was that we would defer to the discretion of the county engineer, Wayne, in order to create a safe access way into the parcel map without getting into a potential inverse condemnation, as the applicant was having difficulty obtaining the 36-foot wide public access easement from their neighboring property owners. So,
Jim, you want to see if Leo's in his office by chance?
yeah, I spoke with Leo on it, and so I guess the determination, I guess, was made that that this would be allowed, this 20-foot access easement. But again, I question that, you know, have we done this in the past with other areas? I think we have. And if we don't condition it this way here, or perhaps at least address it, that, you know, we could cause problems in the future moving forward with other parcel maps. I mean, this may set somewhat of a precedent. And I fail to see how this would be a grab, in that we are not, while we are requiring it, it's not, you know, we're not making the property owners give the easement, or and really these people, we're now adding traffic to their road and causing an inverse impact to them. So they have no recourse other than, I don't know what recourse they have, if they have any. So I'm kind of curious to understand how, you know, in both situations, we're causing perhaps an inverse reaction to this. So to this parcel map. Anyways, I take issue with that. I think that personally, I don't think I can approve that removal of that condition. I feel like I might have to vote to not approve that removal. But that's just my as a member of this board, that's my personal feeling. So I just want to throw that out there before we vote on it.
My own personal opinion on this, where do we draw the line? I mean, can we put in a 100-unit subdivision and say it's an illegal taking if we want more than a 20-foot access easement?
That's kind of how I feel.
Was that Wayne that was speaking?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with Wayne and Tim.
so is Are these questions directed towards me or just general pondering questions?
This is comment at this point. I'm just commenting that I don't think that I personally can approve the removal of that condition. That's just how I feel like I'm going to have to vote on this. So, I mean, I'm okay with the parks condition, the removal of those. I don't fully understand why those were put on there to begin with, but I guess those were not needed or couldn't be asked for through this process. But I feel like reading the code, I feel like this roadway easement is acceptable to ask for.
Can I ask a question of legal real quick? Chaz, what kind of potential legal ramifications are there based off of obviously Tim and Wayne's comments and information that they presented? I think it's valid and they do make some valid points. I completely understand how tenuous it is to try and walk down a path of where we may cause a problem with approvals moving forward and set precedent. And what does that look like in this particular case? Can you provide us some information on whether this is a precedent versus a legal battle or something along those lines?
I think there's a potential for a legal battle in terms of there is a takings issue potentially, and it would. I mean, it doesn't make it an illegal taking. It just means that there is a potential to have to properly compensate, landowners. In my discussion with Jen briefly, there was talk whether or not this was a subdivision or not a subdivision based on the number of units that it was being parceled into, and she was kind of making some sort of distinction based on, is this even a subdivision because it was less than a certain amount of units that were going to be placed on each of these parcels, and that certain ordinance wouldn't have applied. But then there is also that was mentioned, the inverse condemnation, that you were putting these restrictions, you're forcing the restrictions onto these other landowners. And yeah, I mean, it's a potential for problems down the road if the conditions were left on there.
Excuse me, Dan, do you have a representative here for your application? I see somebody named Steve that has their hand raised.
Yes, Steve is the applicant.
Okay, I will go ahead and promote him so he can speak. Steve, go ahead and unmute.
Okay, you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dan, I thought, leading up to this meeting that you guys met with engineering, the DA, everybody involved to get to this point with these conditions, amended conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, I did meet with legal and engineering and Dwayne on this issue prior to having you submit regarding this issue beforehand.
Correct. And so it was, I guess, the recommendation of the ones in charge to do that. So how do we get to this point?
Steve, I believe this is the decision that the Parcel Map Review Committee is tasked with making, and they are tasked with making it within their own discretion. So engineering has provided a memo which has recommended the 20-foot easement, which is engineering's recommendation. That's included in the staff report within Exhibit A. Whereas that may be engineering's recommendation within the conditions of approval. That is not necessarily how the parcel map review committee will decide.
Okay, and then I assume the committee, knowing that it's not a subdivision, because I heard that was brought into the discussion, 100 lot subdivision. This is a 4 parcel split with 4 single family residences. And we're putting the same amount of paving down. The street's going to be the same as if it was 36 feet wide or 20 feet wide. So they're just trying to grab more. First of all, I don't understand why there's 36 foot of easement when you have a 20-foot road. We're serving the same purpose with a 20-foot road going to the parcel over a 20-foot easement.
Is the offsite road being improved to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. It'll be asphalt from the cul-de-sac and Lombardi Lane clear to our property. And then we do, because our property is the map, we do go back to 36 foot wide with the asphalt road in that easement. We're just talking the offsite portion.
Okay.
I think this is Wayne. Part of my concern, I think, is when you put a 20-foot road and a 20-foot access easement, what does that leave you for signage, drainage, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very rural area. They do have ditches, off the steamboat, off the steamboat ditch that abut the area naturally now, which waters the land on these parcels to the south of this road. And so the natural drainage or the road would be improved and drain towards these ditches that are used for storm drainage and steamboat drainage. And they just flood the land, flood irrigate for the cows and whatever else is out there. It's very rural. And so the drainage would go into these ditches and like they're doing now on a dirt road, which is outside that easement, but they exist.
Yeah, so it's an access easement. So you have, I guess, the rights to improve that roadway. I don't know, I'm just kind of talking this out in my head a little bit. How does the homeowner that this access road goes through their property, and now we're going to add traffic to this road, I think is what I would consider it. Who maintains this road, this private road now? How does that? I mean,
currently
I
understand.
Yeah, I'm just talking this out. I'm
sure.
Asking our staff.
Currently,
is there any kind of requirement for an association here or something like that to maintain this private roadway?
Real quick, if I can interject. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 existing parcels that we're passing through. 3 of them are owned by the seller of the property to us that is part of their ranch. The first parcel is the one individual that did not want to give any more easement. There's an existing 20-foot access easement with a maintenance agreement and everything in place as we speak. And that's how and they've had it for years. That was set up, this existing 20-foot easement from Lombardi Lane, the dedicated road, to our property. And they already have maintenance agreements in place and all that. And that's the 20-foot easement that we're utilizing, that we would like to utilize currently. That's all in place already.
Okay.
I think part of my question would come to what is the effect on the maintenance agreement then if you're adding 4 lots all the way at the end of the current 20-foot easement? I mean, do those 4 people pay the same as the person who's driving down 50 feet of it?
Yeah. Yes. Basically, the way we're establishing the first parcel that we cross is the one that did not want to give any more easement than the 20 feet. So that existing maintenance agreement is going to be in place as it was recorded years ago when they bought the property. The other 3 parcels and our new 4 parcels are creating new maintenance agreements and memorandum of understanding of who takes what. So everybody splits. Our 4 and their 3 or 4 will split maintenance of the asphalt from the parcel that did not want to give the easement all the way through our property. So it splits up evenly, and we've already got that document created.
Is that a condition of approval of the original parcel map? And I guess that's why I ask if, you know, if we're just considering the removal of these 2 conditions, or, I mean, was that a condition of the original map?
Dan, I don't recall if it's a condition of the map to have the improvement agreement done. And I'm not sure, you know, we're doing it because we've created street plans and everything for this road, and these agreements. So we all know who takes care of what and who's responsible for what.
Sounds like it's going to be done. I just like confirmation that it's, you know,
yeah,
a condition that will be met.
If you'd like, I can share the original conditions of approval for engineering.
Yeah, I didn't see those.
Can you see this?
And Dan, we don't mind it being conditioned because it's already been completed. The documents are done. And we're going to record them once the map, you know, we've already got all the signatures on the map ready to go. This delayed us, this amendment, but, you know, we're ready to get the map recorded soon, you know, once this meeting's over.
So you're saying, this is Chesney speaking. So you're saying that you are doing MOUs with the other property owners to maintain the drainage and the roadway?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dan, are you going to share those comments? Or did you get all the information you're looking for up there?
Let's see. Okay.
This is the screen. You can see it now.
I saw something and then it just changed.
This side.
There we go.
All right, you can see it now. It doesn't have a red box around it anymore, so I don't know which screen it's on.
No, I don't think that it was a condition. It sounds to me like there was a meeting with the DA and with Dwayne Smith, the division director of engineering, and that there was some agreement to allow this 20-foot access. And I guess then it was determined that this roadway met the requirements for emergency access and all of those requirements needed for the approval of this map to move forward. And with the agreement that we added this condition to have those MOUs put in place, I think that I feel more comfortable approving it now, I guess. Still kind of concerned because I do feel like we do require these easements and these roadways in other places, and that this is a little bit of a different situation perhaps. But I think I can approve. I think I can approve this with that added condition.
And I got a question for you. Was there any comment from fire about only having a 20-foot access easement is about the ability to get some of their larger equipment down there?
No comment from fire. Typically at this point, we're looking at fire from at the building stage, the building permit corrections.
And if I could interject real quick, I did speak with fire about that. And as long as we have 20-foot all weather, it doesn't even have to be paved according to them, all weather access. So that they're fine with it and maintain our 10% max grades and all that, which we have done or designed to.
And it does look like you're going to cross Steamboat Ditch.
Yes, we've already got their signature.
Okay.
We've already got their signature on a map. We are going to install a new bridge.
Okay.
And we have a meeting with them with all the specs on that.
All right. Yeah. So with that said, I think I feel more comfortable with it. I'll leave it at that.
All right, members of the committee, do we have any further comments or questions before we go to public comment, if there are any?
I have none.
Donna, do we have anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this item?
We have no public comment.
Okay, with no public comment, moving forward at this time, we can I can take a motion if someone chooses to put forward one. Anyone?
Okay, Commissioner Chesney, I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting at the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee, approve amendment condition case number WAC 21-0001, which modifies the conditions of the approval of tentative parcel map case number WTPM 20-0009 for Lombardi Lane Partners, subject to the amended conditions of the approval included in Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be provided pursuant to the Washoe County Code Section 110-606.30.
We have a motion from Mr. Chesney. Do we have a second?
I just get some clarification that includes the condition for the memo, that those memos of understanding get recorded.
Oh, you want them recorded, Jen?
All right, I mean, or at least approved.
Okay. Then I amend my motion to include that the memos of understanding regarding drainage and maintenance be added to the condition.
All right, I second.
Having a motion from Mr. Chesney, a second from Mr. Simpson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, the motion is passed. We'll go on to item number 8 at this time, reports and future agenda items. I don't have any. No one has provided any to me, so unless anybody has anything.
I have nothing.
All right. Perfect. We will move on to item number 9, public comment. Donna, do we have anybody for public comment at this time?
We have no public comment.
Perfect. Hearing no public comment, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Roger. This one was
Thank you.
more fun than the last, I think.
I owe all of you donuts and coffee.
Training.
Yes, it was.